Hello, my name is Pavan. I am father of Ritaika Omtree, who passed away with Covishield vaccination. So I'll start my testimony with all the events that happened, sequentially, and what all we went through to get her case to be heard, and in general, during that, what experiences we faced, everything. My daughter Ritaika, she was a 12th grader when she took the shot. She was a wonderful, healthy student, and she graduated just then before vaccination. And she was applying for colleges, and she got selected a couple of colleges, and she wanted to travel for her undergrad education. And that's when the vaccination happened, and we found small some like headache and symptoms like that, and we visited family doctor, and family doctor checked, and he couldn't find anything. He said, like, just take like Advil or whatever that. And then we did some blood tests, and in that blood test, same thing happened, like low platelets, very low platelets. And the person in the laboratory called us privately without giving the report and saying, I need you to come back and do the retest. I said, like, what is that? Did you not do the test properly? He said, no, there's something wrong, please come. We did not listen to him at that time. We are not like, why would the platelets will be so low? So then he said, there is something seriously wrong, talk to your doctor. And that's when we started becoming a little bit serious. And we went to the family doctor again. He says, like, oh, even fever can bring the platelets down to like 20K, 30K, it's fine. And he spoke to my daughter, and my daughter was answering everything fine. And says, like, see, everything is good. So that is where I want to stress that the medical system was not trained to identify such things. Even the doctor who is like famous from Apollo Hospital, and he's not able to even get a clue what it was. And that's how the system was then. And by the time, a lot of things like Dr. Lunawat's case, a lot of things had happened, but still it did not trickle down into the system. And finally, that night, when the family doctor said she is fine, she started getting severe vomitings, headaches, and she started limping. And that's when we got scared and we went to emergency. And in the emergency, the guy who is doing the scanning, he was telling us, like, sir, there is a big blood clot, there is a serious issue, you need to admit her. Even though he's not a doctor, he's able to tell. Then the main doctors who are like, they're not able to. Then we admitted her, and they said it's going to be small surgery, but they ended up doing craniotomy and all that. And, she went into coma and she never came back. And then after like 10 days, she was declared brain dead. We were in shock and grief and disbelief. We didn't know what to do. We were just doing what we were told to do. And then, we finally came out of hospital, donating her organs. That's one thing we did. And donating of the organs is what forced them to follow all these protocols. Otherwise, they would not have followed. Doing the autopsy, checking, filing AEFI and all that. We didn't even know about all those filing AEFI and all those things those days. And that happened without our knowledge. Fortunate or unfortunate, that's what brought Ritaika's case to the limelight later on in our journey here. And then after this, that's when, after going home, like, in a couple of days later on, we, through some of our friends who were suspicious about this could be the case, the vaccine side effect could be the case. And that's when we started realizing this could be one angle, and started our investigation in that direction. And we started digging, and we asked for the reports from the hospital, which took very long time. We had to fight with the hospital. And finally, hospital, after like so many turns, they gave the reports. And after seeing the reports, we were surprised. From the hour she was admitted, they had put like VITT, AITT, vaccine-induced thrombocytic thrombocytopenia, that condition that she had. They had that suspicion, which they never discussed with us. But they had that on the reports, like written in pen, suspecting that, but they never took, that as a serious condition. I don't know whether they treated for it. I don't understand the treatments and everything, but they did know and they never told us. And the reasons they gave is, oh, this can happen for something random, very rare case. And sometimes, kids of this age take different like drugs and stuff. Because of that could happen. All silly reasons. Then after that, we came to know about AEFI, and then we started following up on that AEFI data and the autopsy data. That it took months for us to chase them, and then with the help of few other victims who were ahead of us, with their guidance, we filed several, I think 4 RTAs, 2 RTAs to the central government and 2 RTAs to immunization office in Telangana. There again, I had to do escalations. People wouldn't even take the request for the report. We had to stay there, and communications, office communications, we had to force it to happen. I sent several emails to immunization office. I even spoke to state immunization officer of Telangana. And the funny thing she asks is, why are you doing all this? What do you want from this? Do you want money? Are you going to put case against government? Things like that. Very, disrespectful cross-questioning when you ask for our own kids' data. That was the conditions those days. And then after that, I explained my intention. My intention was to stop these things, such things in future. And so I'm going to, of course, raise awareness and put a case. And that's why I need this data. And what eventually you want, that's what she argues with me. I said, I want a full disclosure with all kinds of adverse side effects, including death and everything, published in a big poster at the site of the vaccination. That is what I want. I said, do you think if I put that, people will come and get vaccinated? What should I do with my number targets? They were given number targets, and they want to meet that by hook or crook. That's what their intention is, and they're directly talking to me, with that intention, and said, people are uneducated here. If you put such warnings, such what do you call that, posters and stuff, they will not vaccinate. And our aim is to just vaccinate. Doesn't matter. So it was terrible, and even the staff in the government offices, they were so scared of helping me because of the fear and taboo that was created with all this propaganda. We've faced a lot of problems and no transparency. And why all this happened? This is because of the government's promotion and government's policy towards the vaccination, not being two-sided, it's being only one-sided. They did roll out COVID Shield. We know that, even though you already discussed, with all known side effects and countries banning them, still they rolled out. And it was given to 18-year-olds, which is what affected my daughter. By first week of May, by first week of May, government knows exactly, TTS was happening, and still it was given. And May 29th is when Ritika took vaccination, and everything happened after 20 days. And we eventually got the autopsy report. Another story I had to tell, how I got the autopsy report. We made an organ donation, right? So because of that, they need to do autopsy. They did it, and they were hiding it from me, and I was fighting with RTS and everything. And then Venugopalanji forwarded me a Twitter post which shared a technical paper published by organ transplant doctors celebrating their success of transplanting a vaccine victim's organ to another person. But they do all that using my data, and they won't share the data to me. And I sent that technical paper to them, and you are doing this and you don't want me to give the autopsy report. Next day they gave me the autopsy report. That is how it was, our experience, pretty bad. And then, after getting the autopsy report, we were able to substantiate our PIL that we started already. And then after all this happened in May, right? Until next year, November or so, we got the AEFI report, and then we filed the case. And our case goals was mostly, to prevent such mishaps from happening in future, and transparency in adverse reports filing, and making it available to everybody, like you said, and also, training the staff because the people who are supposed to handle AFI themselves, sometimes they are not aware of what the procedures are and how serious it's supposed to be, but they don't care. Like, oh, I don't know, go there, go here. You have to run around to. We have actually contacted some of the victims, and we are trying to help them to file the AFI, and they could not file. Some of them gave up with the difficulties in there. And again, coming to the coercion part, like I discussed before, it should not be enforced for anything, employment, education, travel, anything like that, and it should be, free. And additional points I wanted to cover is like, if another thing in AFI, no autopsy, no result. And autopsy is a kind of a taboo in the society now, like, nobody likes to do it. But I think the awareness about that, especially in such cases, should be enforced through the society as well as through the medical faculty. Otherwise, it's hard to prove these things, and then the weightage on this side of the coin becomes less if we cannot prove these things. And yeah, and also, more and more lives anyway was, again, we could not save. Even after filing the PIL and after the first response from the government, we could not save, and it keeps continuing. We need to stop that. And also, when the accident like this happens, adverse effects, because of the lack of protocols, some hospitals may have, but not every hospital in every corner of the country doesn't have the proper protocol, because of which a lot of medical negligence cases happened, and people are still suffering because of that. And all those things I wanted to highlight. And then justice needs to be done. It cannot be delayed anymore. It's already too late. It's 3 years, and people should be given choice and protected. If the recipient wanted to know the donor, legally it's allowed, but even there, they should approach. Not the donor. So, but they approach, and even there was a friction. Because we respect the recipient's privacy, I don't want to share, but we got contacted by, finally, with great difficulty, one of the recipients who really wanted to meet us, did meet us and talk to us. Yeah, yeah. But see, organ transplant again has other complications. Other than that, see, that is another thing. See, everything. If you are able to transplant if you are able to transplant an organ to a recipient and they are good, that means what? You don't have any conditions. Your death just happened because of vaccine, and every part of the body is still perfectly good, and it was able to be, like, reused in other persons. And in Ritaika's case, it was only the brain that was affected, brain stroke, and brain was dead, and rest of the body from here was perfect, and even doctors knew that. And I was in discussions with them about this donation thing. So they medically kept running these things, so that they know that everything else in the body is perfect. And that's the only reason is like the brain clot because of vaccine.
I'm asking because body की ना एक memory होती है, जो भी आपने वैक्सीन दिया उसको भी बॉडी के each and every cell आपका करेगा. और ऑलरेडी स्टडीज आ चुकी हैं कि जो वैक्सीन से जिनको जो डोनर्स हैं उनमें मतलब TTS जो है उनमें भी काफी हुआ है और रिजेक्शन हो गया है ग्राफ्ट का 1/3 ऑलमोस्ट.
तो मैं नहीं सुना
चारों के चारों में
सब सक्सेसफुल अकॉर्डिंग
नहीं अभी एट प्रेजेंट आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ प्रेजेंट. जैसे 2 साल हो गए मान लीजिए, तो अभी तक, क्योंकि इट्स नॉट इमीडिएट इवेंट, इट कैन अकर लेटर ऑन आल्सो.
वी ओनली नो वन रेसिपिएंट एंड दे आर ओके. थैंक यू.